importance of a single smile. Trigger warnings for this presentation include racism, bullying, and death. Please welcome our first keynote speaker of the day, Surya Putcha.
There I go, flying in lane 4 with the baton in my hand. Dead sprinting, eyes closing, legs hurting, and arms driving. Neck and neck with 50 meters to go against our rival school, I knew I had to win. I crossed the line with my eyes closed and turned around. The crowd on their feet, my team cheering, and my parents screaming. Now as you may see, there's a pretty big smile on my face right now, just like there was one on my face when I won the race. I want everybody to take a moment and smile for a second. Let's see those pretty teeth. Pretty nice, right? What really is a smile, though? Technically speaking, a smile is the flexing of the muscle group in our mouths known as the zygomatic major. In everyday life, though, we don't smile to represent a relentless grind to strengthen our zygomatic majors. We smile to represent positivity. But not everything in life is something that we can just smile at. Jokes aside, there are some major issues in today's world. Today, we live in a very divided world. Everybody knows that division, both in real life and math, is just not very fun. Division in today's society comes in the forms of racism, sexism, political disputes, poverty, and bullying. If you look at all these in the grand scheme of things, each and every single one of these things occurs due to deep-rooted negativity. Let's take racism or sexism, for instance. These two major issues in today's world occur due to one person looking at another person and thinking, oh, look at this guy. Ugh. How can someone have such different levels of melanin in their skin? This all, of course, is getting to know a single thing about the person, like their name or what they like to do over the weekend. Do you see it? People are so fixated on this negative, silly stereotype that without even getting to know a single thing about someone, they make a judgment. Judgment is horrible. It makes people think negatively not only about others, but also about themselves. According to researchers, bullies feed off of and enjoy the results of intimidation, insults, harming others' physical and mental health. Why do people bully, though? The main reasons generally are summed up to the power and pleasure coming from feeling better than someone. But the umbrella idea over all of this is the bullies are insecure about something. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my insecurities don't become insecurities until they're exposed by someone else. So by using the transitive property of math, we can conclude that bullies only start bullying because they once were or are currently being bullied. Bullying is generally thought of to happen on school playgrounds and school hallways, but bullying has no age, place, or size. Bullying is everywhere. You can never beat fire with fire. You are only adding to it. You have to fight fire with water, and in this case, that fire and water is positivity. Now let me make this clear. Positivity, simply put, is life-changing and magical. With a positive outlook, anything is possible. Let's rewind 6 years ago. It's 2015 and I'm in the 5th grade in my elementary school. Life up to this point has been very innocent. Innocence by definition is the lack of knowledge as to what evil is. I was the nerd with 3 friends and was quite innocent. This all, of course, was when I came up for the first time face to face with a bully. Let me tell you, this guy absolutely tore me apart. He made me hate myself. You see, I was never really the kind of guy who was into playing sports or being super fit. And instead, I was the kind of guy that would watch sports and watch people be super fit. I was always a little larger, a little slower, and a little weaker than the other guys. And on that fateful day in gym class, I was told straight to my chubby face that I would never be good at anything that would require the physical use of my body. I stood there and took it all in, scared out of my mind, in silence. I mean, what could I say back? I was a nerd. I couldn't talk back. And the fact that I was too scared to tell anyone hurt less than the fact that, well, he was right. And for a while, I became severely depressed. I would hate myself, and it was unhealthy. On one life-changing day, though, I was scrolling through my YouTube recommended feed when I came across a Kobe Bryant video. Up to that point, Kobe was just an all-time great NBA player in my eyes. But after watching that video, my life changed forever. Kobe, like me, was never the biggest or strongest guy on the court, so he had to get creative to become the best. Watching someone just like me talk about how to become great and how to use all this negative energy and turn it into positive drive to become the best version of myself transformed my mindset. I realized that I should change myself and prove the haters wrong. So I started. I began playing sports instead of just watching them. I played 3 seasons of football, and in all 3 seasons, I was the number 1 receiver on the team, won the championship twice, and won MVP twice. I started getting really good at running and swimming, and I felt the best I'd ever felt in my entire life. I listened to Kobe, and took all that negativity and turned it into positivity. Life was going great. That is, until I received possibly the worst news I had ever received up to that point in my life. Arguably the kindest, most sweet, and caring person other than my mother herself had lost her battle with stage 4 breast cancer. My world was put on pause. I was so confused. How can such a caring and loving person get taken from me so early? On the day of her funeral, my dad, my brother, a few close family friends, and I stood there in shock and disbelief that she is no longer there with us. Her daughter came up to me and asked, "Where's my mom?" We all stood there, scared out of our minds to say something, until my dad said she went to go to India to go be with God. She paused for a few seconds, thought, and then replied, "When is she coming back?" We had lost all composure there, hiding the tears rolling down our face. This was rock bottom. There was so much anger and sadness running through me, just like a boiling pot ready to blow negativity. I realized, though, I couldn't let this rock me. I have to keep my head up high and stay strong. But this time, I had not only had to keep myself positive, but those around me too. And I realized that the easiest way to spread positivity was by smiling. By smiling, you'll always trick your brain into thinking that you are happy even at your lowest of lows. And by smiling, you will help make those around you smile back at you. Water flows better than lava, and in this case, that water is positivity. I kept going and I kept working. I kept getting really good at track and cross country. And I was once again not only the happiest I'd ever felt in my entire life, but I was also doing what I could do to make sure that those around me were happy too. And it was working. I don't want to make the impression that my life is always great and I'm always happy, because to be honest, I'm not. It's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay not to do anything about it. I've had the pressure of school, grades, sports, and friends, just like every other high school kid. But recently, I've hit a slump after the passing of my uncle and my good friend, Braden Marcus. Although it's been a rough last few months, I've been digging myself out of the hole that I'm in, and I've been remotivated to being good into the life that we live in, which is very dark. And although I've changed myself for the better, many have not due to lack of motivation. We aren't motivated to do anything until we have to do something about it. You see, people don't see the problem until it impacts them. To most people, it's not a problem until it's a friend with depression. It's not a problem until it's a brother or sister with an eating disorder. It's not a problem until it's one of your best friends who takes their life. We have to lead a more proactive life and be willing to make change, whether that be easy or hard. We have to make that change. The world we live in is full of negativity, and it's a serious issue. It's not a problem that any one person can solve. I'm not here to tell you to be positive because I think I can do this by myself. Attendees of the 2022 One Community Equity Conference, I look towards you, see black, white, Indian, Asian, men, women, and all sorts of different people. And although I just named many key differences between you and I, there's one commonality between us, and that is the last word of that sentence: people. We are all living and human beings. All of our hearts beat, and all of our blood is red. You see, my entire life, I've been a strong believer in 2 ideas. Teamwork is the dream work, and hard work always prevails. So I ask all of you to reevaluate yourselves and find what's wrong. Then, with a positive outlook, make yourself better and make a plan to follow through with it. Find people to motivate you. It can be anyone from Kobe, a sibling, family member, or even your 7th grade science teacher. Like the great Mahatma Gandhi once said, be the change you want to see in the world. And like my childhood Kobe said, Mamba out. Thank you.